All right, this next one is huge, which is pre is greater than post, or an ounce of pre is worth a pound of post. All right, so as I've advertised in many different ways in many different channels for different industries, I have seen this consistently be reinforced for me. What happens for most people is they forget to advertise, and then they try and play catch up, and they hop in front of the camera, they sit in front of the computer, they start typing things out, and then they hit post, they hit submit, they run the ad, they post content. This then gets propagated as the process. And so they hire more people, and then they more or less do the same thing. And then when the stuff sucks, they say, we'll fix it in post. But the problem is that post has very low leverage and very high cost, whereas pre has incredibly high leverage and very low cost, but it just takes more mental work. So let me break this down. An idea for a video, for example, has tremendous leverage, more leverage than just about everything else. If there is a video concept that more people would click and watch to see, that idea itself, even poorly executed, will get an order of magnitude greater amounts of people to watch the content or watch the ad than otherwise. And so putting more time into pre is the highest leverage activity that you can do. And so more of my time now, when I make ads, for example, for school, I will spend on the pre-production. That will be looking at past ads that performed well, looking at the hooks that continue to do well, making sure that we have some props and things like that we can use as visual aids. And then when we actually do the recording, it's very short. And the post-production, because all of the work is already in the video, there's very little that must be done afterwards. And so what happens is the rate of progress and output increases, to use a big word, tremendously. And so the only reason for post-production, especially in education, is to enhance comprehension, meaning to make it easier for people to get what the video is about. And this is different than in entertainment, where a lot of the emphasis is on post. But for the vast majority of businesses, their advertising and marketing comes down to educating the customer or potential customer. And if education is the type of advertising you do, which is what most businesses do, then you need to put more into, do people find this interesting? Can I make it simple? Rather than, I'm just gonna hit record and see what happens. Yeah, and the thing that shifted my perspective on this was, I think it's called Calculus Walla, but it's this Indian channel where there's a guy who's like 20 million subscribers, and he teaches like physics Walla and like calculus and these different classes. And his videos get like 10, 20 million views, just like crazy, crazy numbers. And it's just a dude and a whiteboard. And when I saw that, I was like, I am missing the boat here. Like, I am doing it all wrong. And so we have consistently stripped back more and more of this post-production and put more and more of it into pre. So this video, for example, like I have notes rather than just kind of like winging it and then having the team just like cut everything that was not as good out, right? Instead, it's like, okay, let me be more purposeful about the points that I want to hit, make sure that they actually make sense in sequence so that afterwards they don't have to reorder the video and then cut out this thing and then say, hey, could you re-say this part? It was unclear. It's like, I have examples, I have clear language that I've already thought about ahead of time so that I can ultimately make a better video for you and also an easier video for my team to be able to produce so that we can make more faster. Adding razzle dazzle and whiz bangs is not gonna make a video more educational. So this next one is a really high leverage concept, which I overheard this for the first time from a marketer named Perry Belcher. And it was, I don't think he even used this term, but need to believes, all right? And so need to believes are basically like, you want the fewest amount of need to believes for a customer to make a purchasing decision. And so I'll give you a bad example of a business that I had, and then I'll give you a good example. So with Prestige Labs, one of the difficulties that I had was that I had to convince someone of two things. I had to convince gym owners that they should sell supplements. Not all gym owners want to sell supplements. Some gym owners are against supplements, but I had to convince them that selling supplements was not a bad thing. Then I had a second thing that I had to convince them of, which is that Prestige Labs was a supplement company that they should use. And so I had two need to believes. And so it made it a very difficult sale to get someone because it was just too much basically education in too short a period of time. Now, Over the long haul, could you do something like that? Yes, knowing what I know now, I'd probably have a multi-layered campaign, one that basically gets the first big decision, and then a second kind of campaign later for warmer audience, kind of like middle of funnel, that would then convert people into specifically Prestige Labs affiliates or sellers, retailers. But that's a lot of work, and you're definitely not going to make sales quickly. An alternative to that is that if you look at most of the like real estate investment space, right? So anybody who has funds, who invest in real estate, who flip real estate, who help people flip real estate, find their first properties, whatever. There's this need to believe that doesn't really exist that real estate helps people make money. Most people generally agree that real estate is an asset class. Many people have made money in real estate. And so there's just not a lot that has to be believed for someone to say, okay, well, you are good at real estate. I will buy your thing to help me get good at real estate. And by buying it, it means either I give money to your fund and then you do it on my behalf, or you help me source deals or whatever it is, right? And when we think about like the ultimate business opportunity of all time, which I think is Amazon, Amazon itself fundamentally had the proposition to anybody who wanted to sell anything. All you have to do is upload your product onto our site and you can make money. There's almost no, like you don't need to know how to market. You don't need to know how to sell. You don't need to handle customer service or customer support. They took away every conceivable reason for someone that they would have to believe in order to be successful. They were like, you just need to follow this tutorial and then just upload your product. Like that's it. And so as a result, Amazon has made a tremendous amount of money. And so the only real need to believe is that someone else might buy my product on Amazon. And so people believe that and then they buy. So it's like they barely even have a need to believe. It's like a half believe, right? And so when I think about products and offers, I think what must a customer believe in order to make this purchase? And do I have multiple humps or hills that I have to get over? And ideally, I want to reposition or repackage the product and offer in such a way that there's either no beliefs they have to believe or only one. And so if you're struggling to get more customers and you want to get crazy amounts of customers quickly, you want to limit the amount of things that they need to learn or need to believe in order to buy. And the reason that giving away tons of free stuff, like I mentioned at the very beginning, is powerful is that it will basically move more people from someone who needs more information to someone who needs less information. And so fundamentally, this is what branding is on a large scale, is that you're educating a large percentage of the audience and conquering some of the need to believes before they make the purchase. If you try to go cradle to grave in one move, you will usually sell a smaller percentage of the marketplace unless you have figured out how to make that 6-inch putt a 6-inch putt for everyone, like Amazon has. Same thing with Uber. It's like, what do you have to believe in order to make money on Uber? You just have to be able to download an app, upload your driver's license, not have DUIs or whatever the requirements are, and you have to have a car. And so as long as you believe that when your phone dings, that you will get paid, it's not a huge hill that you have to get over in order to make money.